You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Biggest thing here in the boards is there's a handful of things that are changing. There isn't a lot for you guys. There is some. Okay, but out of all of them, you guys got changed the least.
Cool.
Okay, so it's pretty much the same. When it comes to like the Cosmos and stuff, they got like 3 scenarios added to them, all kinds of crap.
Wait, why do we even? Okay, I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
Continue.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, biggest thing they want you to change in the workplace stuff is you have to have real barbicide. And it has to be the fungicidal, bactericidal, and
Tuberculosis?
yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I can never get that one right. You don't have to use barbicide, but as long as it has those 3 things, because there you can get something at Home Depot, and I think you can get something at Lowe's and stuff that's similar to it. A lot of tattoo artists use this stuff. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I knew you'd probably know. So yeah, that's one of them that they can use.
Okay, cool. And yeah, barbicide comes in little wipes, right?
Now, if you don't want to use the wipes and don't want to get them, you can use the barbicide spray. And there are no bottles you can buy for that, so I'd have to give you one of those labels that I have been giving you guys, and you can tape it around it, and you'll just be spraying as you wipe down. So it's kind of a preference thing, but they want you to actually use real barbicide.
And you said they make barbicide wipes? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon.
okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
just type in barbicide and boom, right there. Okay, number 2, you no longer will need gloves in all your bags. Okay, you just put a box of gloves in your very first one, and that'll stay on your table for the rest of this whole scenarios. Okay, here's the big thing though. If you're going to have a box of gloves, you can have it, pull it out as you need it, you're done. If you're just going to take a handful of gloves and throw it into a Ziploc bag, you're going to have to sanitize your hands, open up the bag, take out the gloves, seal them, then put your gloves on. So it's kind of preferential thing. I recommend just getting yourself a small box of gloves. I mean, hell, once you get licensed, you'll use them up like that.
There are some little things in gloves with like a flip top. You can use that as well.
Yeah, doesn't matter. As long as it's a factory thing, they don't care. So, let's see. You guys
If
got
it's
questions?
one that we had that was already open,
That's
is that
fine too.
okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine too. That's fine too. Okay, your bags. Don't ask me why, because he's the person that told us it did. He's the one that suggested go to dollar store or Walmart or whatever. They don't want any labeling on them.
So no happy birthday or anything like that?
Yeah, well, they don't want that. They don't want Walmart or Dollar Tree or anything like that.
But pictures are fine or whatever.
If you have, like, I've seen some of the bags of some of you guys, that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
They just don't want anything that's labeled. Just make sure that if you have pictures on it where it's a single use and multi-use, it's good. You can see it. Don't put like little tiny little label that big on it to where they have to strain to see what it is. Okay. And you guys do know that the bags go on either side. You know, your single use is on the right hand, multi-use is on the left. Is that right? I think it is. I've done this so often, I'm starting to forget. Yeah, single use on the left.
Oh, I didn't realize you had to have one on what, like a specific.
They used to put it to where you could just put it on the side, but the problem is they said people were mistaking the bags. The proctors were getting confused on which bag you were putting the stuff in.
So single use
So-
has to be on your right side?
Left.
Or left side, okay.
So
Okay.
single use, multi-use. So when you're going through it, it's just automatic where you're putting it. Okay. Basic facial, the only thing that they did say when it comes to you guys' topics are you need to have a shower cap on the head. Now you can leave this shower cap on their head for the whole entire time as long as you don't get anything on it. Okay? If for some odd reason you're doing the basic facial and your hand slips and you get masked all the way up into that thing, change. Okay? That's the only one for that. The hot towel will need to be wet. It can't just be a towel. Okay, it has to be damp. It doesn't have to be soaking. But I suggest when you go to boards, just simply get it a little wet, wring it out, put it in your Ziploc bag, and throw it in your bag, and then take it out and use it. Okay. Eyebrow wax and tweezing. This one has a little bit of a change because they want you to put your waxing sticks in a plastic bag, and they want you to sanitize your hands, open the bag up, take out a stick, seal it again. So for instance, in this scenario, I'll go over it again when we get to it, but you would basically take the thing out to test the wax, you'd throw it away, then you'd sanitize your hands, open it in there, grab another one, close it, and then you would do your clean. Okay? Not real hard, not difficult. Like I said, it's very minor stuff that you guys get hit with. Let's see. Makeup, big thing is you don't have to deal with powder anymore. And there's no set way, all right, to do the makeup. It's obvious. If you do makeup, you're going to put foundation on first. Okay? You're not going to put blush and eyeshadow and then put your foundation over that, because now you just wasted your time. All right, so the only thing that you need to make sure you do is just like if you put makeup on yourself, foundation first. But the rest of it does not matter. You can do the eyes, the lip, the blush. You can do it in any damn order you want to. It does not matter. The only thing is, when you take out the stuff in those little jars that we give you, if you do not use all of it, make sure that you put it in the multi-use bag. Because their attitude is this: even though that tub is only this big, they view everything you guys are using at a Costco size. You know, big jumbo things that you have for everybody at your store, and you're just scooping out a little and putting it in. Now, if you literally take out everything, just throw it in single use. But if you still have any left in it, just throw it in multi-use. Okay? Now, the big change is optional bag. Okay, I've even got this written on here. What that is now is they don't want you to put a ton of extras in all your bags. You know, like let's say you're putting half a ream of gauze in there because you're afraid you're going to drop it or something like that. You have an optional bag now. It's just like the other ones. It doesn't even have to be labeled. It just stays in your tub, and that's where you put all your extras. Okay, so you can put anything in there. You, like nail techs could put files. You guys could put gauze or shower caps or anything. You don't have to have a ton of extra, because their rationale with this is, when you have all this crap sitting on your table, that's just more stuff that they can view to mark you off. Because what happens if you have your gauze and you've used something and you've sat it down on the table and it's on the gauze and you're not paying attention, you pick it up and use it again. Now you take one of those gauze and you start working on the facial. Now you just contaminate it. So see, that's why it's better to just do it. And how you would get that stuff is very simple. At any point during a topic, you simply sanitize your hands, open up your lid, open up the bag, get what you need, seal the bag, close the lid, and go back to work. That's it. There's nothing else to it. It's just an optional bag because, like I said, they were getting tired of people having 50,000 hair clips and gauze and everything all over their table to where they couldn't even work. Okay? But that's optional. It's not something you have to do. Okay? But it's for the people who are, you know, klutzes, I guess would be the easiest word. Yeah, drop stuff on the floor, things like that. You know, this way you have something extra. Because if you drop something, unless it's an implement, you have to get something new. Okay? Because they say there's no way you could sanitize that the proper way in the amount of time you were using it. And I know the old way was just grab a barbicide wipe it down, and go back to town. No, only your implements can be done like that. So like shears for the hairstylists or things like that. You guys really don't have that many implements. But for instance, your little optional bag could have a bunch more of the lip or the makeup stuff, the sponges and stuff like that, in case you drop it or something like that. Okay. All right. Now, on the actual walkthrough, you'll notice that there's two different things on the front here: safety precautions and infection control precautions. These are what they've beat into our head multiple times, that this is what they're looking for. This is how they're grading. Yes. So when they're grading, this is what they're looking for. That's why I put it in here for you guys. So now you have something to look at, kind of study a little bit. So if you're a little nervous or wondering, this kind of gives you guidelines on what they're actually looking for. Okay? Because like I've said many a times before, it has nothing to do with the technique of what you're doing. It's all the safety and the sanitation and all that kind of stuff. Okay? All right, now, biggest thing, that's why I put it in nice big bold letters. Disinfection of your workspace is only done the first and last topic. So your workstation prep and your workstation finish. You don't do it throughout the rest of it.
You just pick your step away. Or throw it away.
I know. Most of the teachers are kind of like, huh? His rationale, and
Oh, I like that.
this is from his mouth. If you guys can do it twice, you can do it 100 times. There's no reason to have you guys do this. They're also viewing that this person you're working on is the same client through the whole boards.
Nice.
Okay? Now, here's the other thing that I didn't put in here, but I tell everybody because I want you all to have the option. And that is, you technically can wear gloves the whole time. You could start, put gloves on, and never take them off. Anytime you sanitize, you'll just sanitize your gloves. Okay? That's an option if you want to do it. But just understand, if you're one of these people like me, that your hand gets really insanely sweaty in those damn things, I would rather not. But you can. But I'm not putting it in here because I don't want anybody to think they have to do that. It's just an option. All right? Okay. Another change is your prep is now cut down to 5 minutes instead of 10. Yeah.
Is there another copy?
Oh, here.
When you do, instead of it being 10 minutes, it's down to 5. Because let's all be honest, most everybody's done within a couple minutes anyway. So why are they going to drag out the boards? All right? So you'll have 5 minutes to get everything set up. Now, at the very beginning, how you'll do this, on the very first one, is you'll do just like you did before. You'll get out your bags and set it down. But there is one good change. They are considering your hands, your basket, or tub, whatever you want to call it, and the table disinfected when you first come in. Meaning, no more of this balancing a bag and trying to wipe down the thing. You literally can take your bag out, set it on the table, get out what you need, sanitize it, lift up your bag as you're sanitizing or disinfecting the table, set your bag back down, take off your gloves and throw away the wipe, take your stuff out of your bag. Okay? They said they're really feel sorry for everybody trying to balance 15 things in their hands while they're trying to not touch the table. So they said, yes, you can place your starting bag on the table. Okay, so no more of having to hold it in your arm. All right? Other than that, it's just exactly like it was before. You guys will take out the stuff, you'll set it up, you'll sanitize your hands and step back. Okay? Another thing they're not asking anybody to do anymore is sanitize your hands and then put gloves on. Because I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. It's like it takes an act of God to get those gloves on their hand.
Like this, and then it's something.
So they don't want that anymore. So that's the reason why you'll see it go like sanitize hands, and then I won't put on gloves. You know, they want you to like sanitize your hands and get in your tub. So by the time you want to put gloves on, your hands are already okay. Okay. First one, basic facial. Again, it's 5 minutes to set up, and you'll basically get out your bag, set up your stuff. Now, the one thing that they are looking for now for the setups is for you to analyze what you're doing. So with the facial, you need to analyze the skin. Now, I showed this in the morning just to make it easy. I'll just keep this out. All you're going to do is something like this. Sanitize your hands and step back. That's it. Okay, you don't have to whip out a magnifying glass. You don't have to do anything. They're not expecting you to spend a lot of time on it. They just want you to show them that you are going to check and make sure that this client is okay to get this facial. I mean, in all honesty, I guess they think you guys are idiots that you wouldn't know if there's a big gash on their cheek and not to do it. They think you're just going to go slap, you know, like that on something. All right, so, but that's what they want you to do. And it doesn't have to be anything real fancy. After that, sanitize your hands, step back. When you start, you will sanitize your hands and begin. Now, just so you know, the reason why you sanitize at the end and at the beginning of each one of your steps is because in between those steps, if you do this, anything, your hands are now not sanitized. So by doing it at the end, that means you've taken all the chemicals of what you've done off your hands, and then by doing it at the beginning, it means anything that you've done, gone to the bathroom, eaten a sandwich, whatever you've done, you've sanitized your hands ready for the client. Okay, that's the reason why they want you to do that. Because it's just showing that you're going like, hey, I'm going that extra mile. Because honestly, hand sanitizer doesn't work jack. It's better to wash your hands with soap and water than it is to just slap that crap on. But you know, hey, that's how they want us to do it, so that's the way we're doing it. Okay, so on your facial, when you start off, you'll just be sanitize your hands. You'll be applying your cleansing cream to the gauze, take it on their face. Then after that, you'll place the mask in your hands and put it around the face. And you can wear gloves or not, okay? Just like reality. You guys don't have to use gloves when you do facials, okay? So you can use them if you want to, but you don't have to. Then you're gonna take the steam towel and put it on their face. Now, the steam towel, I see so many people sit there and, no, basically drape it, take it off, okay? You don't have to waste any time on it. You're just gonna put it on there, wait like a second or two, and then take it back off, and you can use that damp towel to take off some of the lotion that's all over the face, okay? Because that'll help you when you put the makeup on. All right? So after that, you will take moisturizer cream, and you no longer have a massage cream and moisturizer. It's just you're going to use moisturizer cream and use that for the massage. Now another thing, the AMs asked me that, so they had to do it 3 times. I said no, you don't have to do any of the things. The depotement, the effleurage, or petrissage. Okay, you don't have to do any of them. Any questions of those will be on your written. Okay. So all you're going to do, take the massage cream, you're going to go there. If you feel more comfortable doing a little bit of this at the end, go ahead, but you don't have to. Okay, you're just massaging that massage cream in. So that's all you're doing. Okay? So that's another thing that, like I said, they kind of took away that you guys don't have to worry about. A lot of the changes have made it easier for you guys than harder. Okay, after that, you'll clean up. You know, you put your stuff in the corresponding bags. You'll sanitize your hands and step back. Now, like I said, so far I haven't told you to put on a pair of gloves. Because in reality, that's how it is. You don't have to wear gloves when you do all this stuff. The only stuff you do need to wear gloves is when you wax it. Because when you wax them, sometimes blood comes to the surface, and you don't want to get that on your finger. Okay? You want it to be gloves. Okay, so next there is eyebrow waxing and tweezing. Here again, you will basically open up your thing and get your stuff out. The only big thing is here, analyze the eyebrows. Simple, take it, look, rub your finger over it like that, done. That's it. Nothing major, nothing hard, nothing that's going to take you more than 30 seconds to do. All right? So after you do that, then you will start with the eyebrow waxing. Now, here's where, like I said, it's a little bit different. You put gloves on. You notice I didn't say sanitize your hands first, because you sanitize your hands at the end of the other one. So just put your gloves on. All right. Now you'll apply the antiseptic to the eyebrow. Then you'll sanitize your gloves. I know that sounds stupid. This is what they want you to do. I told my wife, who's a major nurse, that hey, you just use those same gloves all day and just sanitize your gloves. She said, you want me to smack you? Okay, yeah, it was kind of like going, no, we use a new one for every patient. I'm like, that's what I thought, but you know, they're saying how they want it. So, once you sanitize your gloves, you're going to go into your little waxing stick bag. You'll take out a waxing stick and you'll seal it. Okay, then you'll take a little bit of whatever you're going to use, petroleum jelly or gel or whatever. Take a little bit of it and put it on your arm. Throw that stick away. Okay, you're testing it, seeing the temperature. Now, because it's petroleum jelly or something like that, if you want to grab a paper towel that's in there and wipe it off, go ahead, but you don't have to. Okay, you just have to act like, you know, kind of touch it tiny little bit. You don't have to get up, you know, like that. They don't care. So after that, you'll throw the stick away. Then you'll sanitize your gloves again, open up the bag, take out another stick, seal the bag, and then that's when you will do your client. Okay? The rest of it is exactly the same. Okay? Same thing for the tweezing. There's not anything that's really changed. It's the same exact stuff. It's just that there, for some odd reason, which I don't understand, every place I've ever gone to or worked at or anything like that, they kept their waxing sticks in the box. Or some, I mean, I don't know why they're going so crazy over being so sanitary for the waxing sticks. Okay, but it's one of the points that they religiously said to us. So, okay, now again, you'll just clean up, put your stuff where it needs to go, sanitize your hands, step back. Next one is your makeup application. This one you'll sanitize your hands, you do that to bag, close all the containers, and arrange it how you see fit. And you also will transfer the makeup to your palette in this step. Okay? That's when, because their attitude is when it's time to do the topic, that's what they want you to do. So any prep work needs to be done at this area, at this time. Okay? And I'm sure if everybody is not getting it done, they'll come back and say, oh, well, we decided to change back the thing to 10 minutes instead of 5. They're that dumb. So, so do that, sanitize your hands and step back. Okay? Here you get to put all the stuff on your doll for your makeup. Okay, like I said, you don't have to use powder then. If you have, because one student asked me, if you have a powder foundation, that's perfectly fine. Okay. But you don't have to put the foundation on, then the powder. All you have to do is put the foundation on the face, and then the rest of it you can do however you want in whatever order you want. Okay? So if you want to do the lips first, do them first. You want to do the eyes first, do the eyes first. You want to do the blush first, do the blush first. It doesn't matter. They don't care. As long as you apply the stuff that you're supposed to apply. That's it. So, I mean, you could even apply the makeup on the doll like you would do it yourself. You know, so you don't have to necessarily follow a certain step. After that, you'll sanitize your hands and step back. Okay, then you'll put your stuff. Now, there is one question I do get a lot. Yes, you can throw away your stuff when you're done using it. Okay, when you're using one of those makeup sponges and you're done, throw it somewhere else. You're using something that's considered product, like let's say your makeup that you didn't use all of it. As soon as you're done putting it out there, you can drop it into multi-use. Okay, you do not have to wait. Meaning, I mean, just think about it. If you had a client, you're not going to have a big pile of garbage sitting right by their head that you throw all away at once. You know, especially when you're waxing. You know, you get that stuff in the trash as soon as you can. Okay. Now, the very last one is the end of day cleanup. This one isn't very hard, but this is how they've decided they want to do it. So you're basically going to put on gloves, and you're going to disinfect everything that's on the table. Okay, so your barbicide wipes, the hand sanitizer. You can leave your mannequin head on the table. You do not have to put it down below. No, you don't sanitize. You're disinfecting. You take a barbicide wipe to it, they'll have a cow. Yes?
I'm looking for Keisha. Hi, can I see you for a minute?
Yeah. So the way they're viewing this, to make it easier for you guys, and the way I showed it this morning, is your tubs are exactly the same thing as like this. What they're saying leave that lid on is you're leaving your drawer open like that while you work on your client. So any stray hair, any excess cream, maybe even water from when you're rinsing off your hands could go in there and contaminate. That's their attitude towards that thing. Okay? Now the other thing is they are the beginning, the setup. What they're viewing that for is you just got to your salon. Okay? You're just opening up, you're setting everything up for the day. The end of day is you basically cleaning everything up, going home because someone else is going to take that spot. Okay, of course that's not the way if you have a booth rent, etc., but you know, that's the way they're viewing it, that someone's going to come in right after you. That's why you leave the stuff there. Just wipe it down with the barbicide wipes, wipe down the table, throw that stuff away, sanitize your hands and step back. That's all you have to do at the end. Then they'll basically do, like it says, the blue lighting. They'll say, you're done, you can put your stuff away, you shove everything in your tub and leave. Then you got 24 hours that they can send you an email to contact you to let you know whether you passed or failed. If you pass, it's pretty simple. It's just, it has your picture on the email, and it has a little blurb in there basically stating you passed, wait 24 hours, then you can call this number and sign up for your written. Okay? If you fail, it'll be something that's a little bit more in detail. It'll have it all broke down, and it'll say this is how many points that you're supposed to have, and this is how many points you got, to give you an idea. Now, they are working on making this even broke down even further. They showed us some of the things that they're working on coming, and before long you'll be able to type your name in and be able to just look this up yourself. But it's going to take some time, as any program, of course, does. All right. Now, when you go to your written, you can't wear baggy clothes. Okay, you can't wear any kind of electronics. Oh, that's one other thing with your boards. I tell everybody the exact same thing. Go in with your wallet and your keys, with everything else in your car. If your phone goes off, even though they will tell you to put watches and things like that in a little zip bag that locks, if your phone goes off, they kick you out automatically and you have to do it and pay for it again. Okay? They do not tolerate that. So if it's something to where, let's say you have to call somebody, literally tell them, I'll talk to you when I get back on, and shut your damn phone off. Okay? I left all my stuff in my truck. I just went in there and said, I'll talk to you when I'm done. Is it? And that way I just took my wallet, my keys, and that's all I took in, just to make it safe. All right? On your written, it's a little bit different. They have lockers that you can put stuff, but they will check everything. They even kind of frisk you a little bit. They make you pull out your pockets to make sure nothing's in there. They'll even take your glasses and check and make sure they're not the meta glasses.
Not the what one?
Meta glasses, you know, that will, you can read your email and shit on them.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and everybody always asks me, why are they doing that? Why are they doing this? And I said, look, somebody had to have done it for them to implement this. You know, just like when the Cosmos and all them asked, why do they search your hair on your mannequin dolls? I said, because someone probably wrote how to do it on the scalp and thought they could get away with it because you couldn't see it because of the hair on the head. So I said, everything they do is because someone abused it, and so now they have to do this to everybody. Okay? Your written is, when you go in, you will be in there with all kinds of people. All right? It's not just Estes. That's the big difference. When you take your practical, you will only be taking it with other Estes. There'll be 2 proctors at the front. The tables are set up in a U shape, facing, and the most they have in there will be 6 people. Okay? I have had a few students tell me they were the only one in there. I would hate that to hell. But it has happened. Okay? So don't expect that there are going to be 6 people in there, maybe 2, maybe 4, maybe 6. You don't know. And that's the one here in Colorado. Okay, off of Platte. When you take your written, though, you're going to be taking it with plumbers, nurses, electricians, barbers, hairstylists, Estes, anybody that needs to take a written exam in order to get their license can be in there at the same time. Okay? So don't fret if you see people getting up and done and you're still working on it. They might not even be in there for the exact same thing you are. You know, they might be in there for electrician or something. Okay? When you get in there, after you sit down, you'll have your own little cubicle. It's kind of like, I don't know if they still have them at the libraries, but back when I was in there, they had the little cubicle where you could sit in the library and no one could see the side of you, so you could act like you're reading the book that you're not reading and you're reading something else. That's what they have. So your computer is set up in there, and you're in a nice big cushy chair, and you'll go in there, and when you start, it'll start you off with questions about the American flag and or the 50 states or something like that. All those questions are for is just for you to get the hang of how the system is going to work. The multiple choice and that stuff. Okay, they don't apply. They're not applied to your learning, so don't worry if you get them right or wrong. It doesn't matter. Once you're done with that, you'll click. It'll come up and says, "Are you ready to start?" Hit start, and you go. Now, I tell everybody the exact same thing. When you go to your boards, go through. If it takes you more than a few seconds to answer the question, skip it. Go through the entire test, answer the questions that you know, then you can click on the little button that says go to, and it'll take you right to the unanswered questions. Okay, there's a couple reasons for this. If, let's say, the very first question you look at, you don't know the answer. Now you're going to sit there, you're going to try to figure it out, you're going to sweat about it, you're going to worry about it, and now you're going to second guess yourself on all the questions that you do know. So if you don't know it, skip it. Just answer the stuff you know. Plus, in these tests, you have to understand, it's like bobbing for apples. They just basically, the system reaches in, grabs some questions, and those are what you have. You may have all these questions on makeup. She may not have one. Okay? It's never the same. It's all just randomly picked from a big database. So, when you're going through and you answer all of them that you know, you go to this go-to button, shows you all the ones you do, and then you can work on those. Also understand, a lot of times this is like any other multiple choice kind of thing. They are, what over here is the question and you don't know the answer. Well, over here the question might be the answer, and it's asking you for the question that is over here. Okay, a lot of times that happens. I can remember a few of the questions that I did that I went through and I went, oh shit, okay, I better go back and change that because that's, I had missed it. Trust your intuition. Okay? Don't second guess yourself. That's why I say answer the ones you know, then just work on the unanswered ones. Because if you keep on going over it, you're going to change your answers, and you possibly could have passed before you changed your answers. Okay? So once you get done with that, you'll basically hit submit, and then you'll get up and you'll walk out back into the lobby. When you go out there, they will say, okay, what's your name? They'll say, okay, give us a few minutes. You go sit in the waiting room, and then they'll come and get you. One of two things is going to happen when they come and get you. Either you will be a licensed esthetician, or you won't. And they will give you the license right then and there. They print it out on their computer. It's a little certificate that's like about this big, and on the bottom of it, there's one of those little things that you pull off, and you can use that for a wallet size. Okay? So if you don't pass either the written or the practical, it takes 30 days before you can take it again. Okay? I know that sucks, but they don't want anybody like, okay, well, I'm going to take it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. They're kind of like, look, idiot, go back and practice, then come back. Don't make yourself look like a fool by failing and failing and failing. Also, when it comes to the school pays for one practical and pays for one written. So if you fail the practical, you still get that written. Okay? A lot of people are confused about that. They think if they fail, they forfeit all of it. No. You are given a voucher for one practical and one written. So if you pass the practical and fail the written, you just have to pay for another written test. If you fail the practical and pass the written, you'll just have to pay an extra one for the practical. Okay? They're not exorbitant. I think altogether, it's like a 120, 130, something like that is what it costs to pay for the whole thing. So I can't remember. I think the practical costs more than the written because they have to actually have you in a room. In the written, they can just throw you in with anybody. They don't have to specifically separate you out.
Pay somebody to watch.
Yeah, basically. So it's a little bit cheaper for that. Other than that, that's basically it. Now you can do your practical and your written online. Okay, you can do any combination that you want. You can do your written online, and do your practical in person. You can do your practical online, written in person. It doesn't matter. But do understand, I've heard some horror stories about that. So make sure you know all the rules. Like for instance, if you're one of those people that when you're looking at a thing, when you're doing a test, you go, This concludes appeals national professional test. Please clear your record when you're reading the question. If you try to do that online, they will kick you out. And you'll have to pay for it again. If you are online and you're one of these, they will kick you out. Here's the reason for that, because I kind of questioned about it. Their attitude is this: they can only see you and what you're doing. If you're doing that, there's nothing stopping someone from standing in the doorway, reading your lips, and then not showing you the answer. Okay? They're very adamant about this. They want everybody to take it seriously. Also, if you're doing it at home, you will have to take your laptop and you'll have to go, or your computer camera, and you'll have to go under here, all this kind of stuff. Anywhere they want you to. Okay? Now that's okay, but they don't want any kind of electronics in there. Anything that could possibly give you, I don't know, answers. Alright? Also, when it comes to the practical or the written, if you have dogs, if you have kids, get them the hell out of your house. Okay, if you're going to do that. If your dog runs in, is barking in the background, they'll kick you out. If your kid's running, mommy, 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 or anything like that, they'll kick you out. And they will just say, thank you for your time, you leave. Okay? And they will just kick you out. You won't be able to argue with them, they won't be anything, and then you'll have to take it again. And most of the time, if that happens, they will only let you take the physical one. Okay? If you have any problems with needing extra help, like for in the written, I had for the one of the day students, she had a problem with being in a crowd and the noise and everything. They will work with accommodations for you. Okay, maybe they will supply you with noise canceling headphones. Okay, or what have you. They will help you do that. Okay, within the limit. I mean, there is some stuff they might just say, look, you probably should just take it at home. You know, it'll probably be better for you if you just take it at home and do it. You have a place you can do it. Something like that. Make sure it's a room that you aren't going to be disturbed. I've heard some people say they do it in their bathroom, so I can't imagine trying to do boards in your bathroom. But any place that is quiet, like I said, get your husband, your wife, your parents, whatever, to take your kids if you got them. Have them take them to the park or something just to get them out of the house to where you don't have to worry about it. Because that's just one more thing hanging over your head that you'll be worried about while you take this. Okay? The practical, very simple. You go in there with other people, you leave with other people. The old way used to be they would give you an envelope in the practical. Said, here's your envelope, don't open it until you get your car. Because they don't want to hear anybody whining, crying, complaining, yelling at them, or anything else. Nowadays, it's just an email. And understand they have 24 hours to send it, but most of the people I've talked to have gotten theirs. Some of them get them before they even get to their car. Okay, they'll get in their car and they'll go, oh, I got an email. Oh, I passed. You know, so don't fret that it's going to take the full 24 hours, but they have the option to go in 24 hours. Okay? I just recommend if you want to do it quickly, you can do it anywhere. Do it here in Colorado Springs, you can do it in Boulder, you can do it in Denver. Pueblo only has written. You can only do the written tests down there. You can't do the practicals. You can do it anywhere, but here's the only problem with that. If you go to Denver and you either A, don't get a reply really quickly, or B, get a reply quickly and you fail, that's a long drive home. Okay? And you're already going to be beating yourself over your head as soon as you walk out of that boards anyway. The last thing you want to do is drive home. I'm a stupid idiot. I don't need to be in this. I can't be nasty. I'll never pass it. And by the time you get home, you're ready to drink a fifth of Jack. Okay? No. I would prefer that if you guys are worried about that, to just go here in town. Unless you're on a time restraint to where you really want to get it done quickly. Okay? Because there's a few morning ones that want to get it done as quick as possible because I think they're moving. But that's another thing too. One of the girls is moving apparently to Oklahoma. And I told her, that she needs to contact Oklahoma, because any PSI facility, you can take the test there. So if she moves to Oklahoma, she can still take the PSI test to get her SD license in Colorado. All right, as long as it's PSI, because everything's the same. But since she's moving to Colorado, and she said, or Oklahoma, and she doesn't plan on coming back to Colorado, I said, well, find out what she said everything's the same, the amount of hours and everything else. Well, then hell, I said, I would just see if you can just take the Oklahoma one and just get your Oklahoma license. I mean, they'll still count the hours, they'll still count everything that goes towards it if it's the same. Because like, for instance, Cosmos in California, 900 hours to be a Cosmo. Here it's 1,500. Okay, so that's how they base it on. If you move to another state, they will look at you and they will go like, okay, you've got your license, how long have you had it? Okay, how long have you been working in the field? Okay, well, you've been working a long time, you've been doing a lot of stuff, here's your new Oklahoma license. Okay, if you say, I just got out of school, I just did this, they may make you take the written again. Or they may make you take the whole thing. So, it just depends. That's why I tell everybody, if you're planning on moving shortly after this, you should be contacting the people there and see what they want, because you don't want to have to go through all this crap again. Okay? So, that's pretty much the boards, all of it. Do you guys have any questions dealing with it?
I have one.
Sure.
Where is it? It's during the facial. Applies cleansing cream to gauze, and we apply the cleansing cream to the face.
Mm-hmm.
Do we remove the cleansing cream before the mask?
Don't have to.
We just put the mask right on top. Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can if you want. I mean, I understand that you guys are putting a lot of product on the face before you work on makeup. And I know makeup will not stick shit when it comes to this stuff. So if you want to, you can wipe it off with that towel. You can take it off anytime you want. But if you want to at the very end, if you're concerned about it, just take that damn towel and try to wipe off as much as you can.
They're not gonna mark them down on that or anything for doing a different step?
No, you don't have to worry about doing anything.
Okay.
You can do it any way you want. So anybody else got any questions? Okay. Well, that's the new boards, guys. Like I said, it's not anything really hard. It's just eliminating a few things and making it a little bit easier on them. Mainly because I guess their attitude now is apparently they're failing too many people. And they're failing too many people because one of the reasons why they switched to this one is because the old boards, for instance, your makeup, we'll just use that as an example. You got 1 point for doing the foundation right, 1 point for doing the powder right, 1 point for doing the lip right, 1 point for doing the mascara right, 1 point doing the eyeshadow right, 1 point doing the blush right. Then you had other points for doing them right in the right order. Yeah, it was insane the old way. They were more caught up on you guys doing their set technique. This and this and this and this and this. As opposed to finding out if you guys could be safe. Okay? Their attitude now is it's our job to teach you guys how to do it. Because the cold hard facts is, once you get out there and you're licensed, you're going to find your own ways to do these things. Right? You're not going to go necessarily the way we teach, way Greg teaches, anybody. You know, you're going to find your own way. You're going to take something Greg did. You're like, I really like this. I'm going to use this. You're going to take something that maybe Scott did. You're going to go, I really like this. I'm going to use it. You know, you're going to make your own way and do it your own way. But what they're worried about is, are you going to hurt anybody while you're doing it? Are you going to hurt yourself? Or are you going to hurt your client? And that's their main attitude. That's all they need to worry about. So, people don't expect them to be here tonight anymore. So, if there's no other questions, I will let you be gone with this. If you have any, just email me, richard@ithaca.edu. I answer my emails very, very quickly. I get chewed out a lot because I answer them on my days off too. Just because I would rather answer and get these questions answered for you guys than not. Because I don't want anybody to spend all weekend worrying. Yes?
I was just gonna ask, if we do wanna wipe off like the facial stuff before the makeup, should we do that during the cleanup period or just immediately after?
You can do it at the very end when you're done with the facial. When you're
Okay.
cleaning up, you can just take that towel and kind of go over it a little bit to get some of that stuff off. Understand that they're not expecting you to be perfect. That's why we've always told you guys, pick the gaudiest damn colors you can for the makeup thing, so they can't say you didn't do anything. You know, don't make it look good. Use purples and greens and yellows together. You know, it doesn't matter if they look like a circus freak. When they're done, at least you show them what you were doing. Okay? So, is that it, guys? Okay, well, like I said, you can always ask me. Now, when you're done and you're about to take your boards, you can come back and take boards. You just have to contact Sunny. Okay? She'll basically say, oh, well, the Estes are going to be doing the boards tomorrow. Can you make that? Oh, sure, I'll come then. But if it's something more like, hey, I'm taking my boards tomorrow in 2 days, is there any way? Most likely what she'll do is she'll come up to me, can you do an Estes board tomorrow? And I'll sit down with you and I'll walk you through it and I'll make sure you guys pass. I've got like a 97, 98% rate for anybody that I teach the boards to pass. Maybe that's the reason why everybody wants me to teach the boards. That's also the reason why I'm in charge of the boards. So this time I was doing it a little bit different. I'm going to go through this with everybody, make sure everybody's on the same page, make sure everybody's doing the same thing. Because too many times in the past I've heard, well, he doesn't do this. She didn't teach us that. That's not how we do it. And I don't want anybody to fail. My job is to make sure all of you pass your practical the first time. Written, I can't really help you with. That's all yourself, studying and everything else. I mean, if I could, I would wave a magic wand and make it great for you guys could pass your written as well. But unfortunately I can't. That's all retaining the information out here. So, but yeah, if you have any questions, and if you see me in the hall, I mean, I know you guys don't see me in the hall very often now because I've moved to days, but you can always ask me, you know, or you can ask Greg, and Greg can ask me. That's perfectly fine too. I don't care about that, and I will try to answer it to the best of my ability because I don't want you guys to fail. Because that means I did my job wrong. Because I'm the one that wrote these. So, all these kit lists, the walkthroughs, I did them. So, when you guys don't pass, that means I feel like I didn't do something right. Now, of course, there's always some people that just aren't going to pass. I understand that, you know, there are some people that just, you can tell, yes, we can tell, you know, even the students can tell, oh, they'll never pass their boards. You know, I've heard this multiple times, but there are some that are that way. And I feel sorry for them. I don't know why they're wasting their money. But if you're really serious about doing it and you listen to the way I tell you and how to do it on boards, you pass. Okay? All right, guys. Well, like I said, if you have any questions, yep. So, and of course, he videoed this whole thing, so.
Yes, I did. So if you want to come back to it, we'll share it with you.
So, all right, guys. Now I got to do the other.